Welcome back to another Rust tutorial. Still reeling off of that last video. It's doing great so far, but let's go ahead and jump into this new video. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter one, but if you have any questions, we can expand on it a little bit more. So let's hop on in here and I'll show you what we're working with today. Alright, so today I'm going to be showcasing 14 different cube designs. These are going to be one-by-ones that are designed to sort of optimize the space that you've got and maybe create some new combinations that you haven't thought of just yet. So leave some comments down below if there's anything that I missed or anything that you'd need a little bit more of an explanation on. And feel free to like the video. It goes a long way in terms of getting my videos out to the algorithm. And if you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead and subscribe as well. That would be huge. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start with this one, which is one of my new favorites that I've just put together here. This is using the auto crafters, and basically this is like a little kit factory that you can set up in your base. I don't have it fully fleshed out here, but this is just kind of the concept. So you've got those two batteries back there that you can kind of see through this locker. You've got 4 auto crafters in total, 2 on each workbench. There's one up top and one down below here. You can see the 2 small boxes underneath these workbenches down here with the adapters for the industrial automation system. There's also a locker here with 3 of those adapters on it, so you can fill out each of these kits however you please. And basically this is a whole kind of self-contained factory that you can use to just make kits while you're out. So that's just one cool little cube there. This is a design that I've been having some trouble with. I'm trying to work on it a little bit more still, but I figured I'd go ahead and add it to the video. It is a 4 single planter cube. It's got 2 shelves, got 2 lights up there as well. And the way you can get these planters to fit in here, they won't cross this gap. So you do have to put a little small sign down there. You can see where I've got it on the bottom of the shelf, but that allows you to place these planter boxes directly down onto the shelf. As you can see here, you can squeeze 4 of them in there in a pretty nice setup. There's also a gap between these shelves, so the light should shine down to the bottom planters, as well as any water that you have set up in here. Now, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more like high volume farming, you can do 2 of these full planter boxes with this sort of a setup, and I've got them laid out here. It is a little tough to reach this upper box, and some of the plants in the back may be tough to reach, but if you put signs on the front attached to this shelf here, you can use them to stand on and kind of still reach back here without having to build out another shelf every time. This is going to be just a standard respawn cube, just a little bedroom type thing. You've got a bed here, you've got a repair table and a skin bench so you can reskin stuff as needed. You've got a couple of boxes in here so you can store a lot of stuff. You've got a bear rug up here that will get you up to 100% comfort so you can comfort heal while you're in this cube. There's also a tiny little generator back here that you can see just kind of tucked away out of sight, as well as a couple of small boxes and some batteries you can charge. So just a nice cozy little bedroom. A very efficient use of the space. You might be able to squeeze another box or something up here if you feel like it. I just left it empty so you can kind of see that all this still fits very comfortably in here as it is. In here you can see we've got a new double shelf design. I've been working on perfecting this design for a while, and I think this is about as good as it gets. From here you can reach all 3 of these large boxes, these 2 small boxes, and then of course the same setup down below. That's pretty straightforward, but this design is super compact and very efficient, so keep it in mind if you're building out one of these loot rooms later on. This is going to be your pretty standard ramp loot room. So you've got a shelf in the middle there, you've got ramps, you've got loot boxes tucked away in there. You can reach all of these from down below, but if you want to get real freaky, you can put loot boxes way back in there. I'd show you, but they're super hard to reach, and it just kind of makes the screen go like this. You can see we've got 2 large batteries. I put them face to face because that's going to be the smallest possible footprint for them. You kind of squish their little access panels together and they squeeze in really nicely and leave actually quite a bit of space. So I've got 4 large batteries, and you've got a bunch of these little small batteries, 6 in all, stacked up on these 2 generators. So you can always go in here, crank on these generators, power up these batteries or these ones, and keep that energy going in your base there. Now up top, we've got a furnace cube here. This one's going to be a little bit different from the Super Forge, but still a very dense, very useful design to have. It's kind of tough to get the placements right for these, so I would recommend starting all the way against the back and placing the middle furnace first. It's much easier on the standard stone floor, and I recommend just trying to get it as centered in that middle grid tile as you can. Just try to get it as centered as you can, and then place the ones on either side and then fill it in moving forward. So then you get something that looks like this. It's really nice, and it's a great way to get charcoal while you're still in the pre-electrical era. Here's going to be a TC layout. So you've got the tool cupboard back here. You can still reach it if you hop up onto this box. Easy as that. You've got a box back here that you can reach. Here, one here, a big one back there, and then a couple of small ones up here, as well as a grill. You can stack some lanterns or decorations in here as well for additional storage. It's a great idea if you're looking for a way to kind of lay out your TC room. Up next, this one's also another kind of lackluster one, but I went ahead and threw it in here anyway in case anyone was curious about it. You can squeeze two of these composters in right next to each other. It is a little bit tricky. I had these walls with the standard stone face, hard side facing in, kind of like the way it is now with the adobe. So then you kind of squeeze these guys all the way against the edges and they'll both fit together. Toss a little hitch and trough right here. And that's kind of a neat way to optimize the space that you've got for your animals. In here, this is one that might be really useful for folks who get stuck in like the tier 1 era, so pay attention if that's the case for you. You've got a mixing table here, small box underneath. You've got a research table back here as well with a large box smushed underneath it. Two small boxes here, another small box underneath the repair table, and then you've got a campfire and water refinery here, or a water purifier rather. So you can fit a water purifier underneath this repair table on a campfire. So if you're low on space, you need that fresh water, and you've already got a repair table down, you can go ahead and just squeeze that under there and it works just fine. Keep that in mind. We got another bedroom cube here. This one's pretty straightforward, but as you can see in a raid situation, you and your buddy would have a really good opportunity to counter. If you got wiped earlier, you can wake up, grab a kid out of this locker behind you, and skirt right on out of here. And you'll notice that there's only just a tiny little bit of the beds peeking out behind this garage door. Your little toes are going to be cold, but it is still difficult to hit those beds unless you're using something that splashes, or if you're really up close trying to hit the feet of these beds with that door closed. So it's a pretty good cube to have. Definitely not the best one, but a pretty solid one to keep in mind. We have a mixing table cube here. When you need that charcoal, you've got some down here underneath these mixing tables. It's also safe down there, so you're not going to get burned, which can be really annoying. But you can squeeze these two mixing tables in and still have enough room to do a full row of these small boxes down the middle, which is really nice if you need to store extra charcoal or sulfur or whatever that you're working on. And last is this one, which is going to be the command center cube. It's a little lackluster because these two items do have kind of weird hitboxes in terms of like where you can place them. So I've got the desk here, which you can kind of squeeze down into. There's a sleeping bag here as well, just to kind of fill in the space. There's not really much else that can fit behind one of these desks. The new clan table is in, which is pretty wild as well. I haven't had a chance to experiment with it yet, but it is a pretty nice looking prop. Kind of a fan of it. I hope that they introduce some more stuff similar to that later on. But one thing that's also really cool about the clan table is you can actually squeeze a drone underneath it. I had one under here earlier, but I guess it despawned. Pop it down in there like that, and it'll sit all nice and cozy underneath the table. It won't sit up on top any of these things, unfortunately, but just keep that in mind if you need a spot for your drone. And all in all, that is 14 compact cubes in Rust that you can use to make your base more efficient, more powerful, or just a little bit more cozy. So if you liked any of these, go ahead, leave a comment, tell me what you thought about them, leave a like on the video, subscribe, that would be amazing, and there's going to be more content like this. I'm Spilldrop, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.